You're watching NFL Daily, and free agency is here. So which big-name superstars are going to be playing elsewhere in 2019? Well, guess what? I got a list here for you, but before I dive into those, here are just maybe some things to know about 2019 free agency. And it begins at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, March 13th. That's Eastern Time. And there's $188.2 million per team in terms of cap space, and teams can start talking to players with expiring contracts today. So for all you who are wondering some of these other big signings, maybe like a Trent Brown, well, that's why it happened. Also, make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Now let's head into the top quarterback in free agency, and that's Nick Foles. And everyone expects him to sign with the Jags, and pro tip, subscribe, because if you would be a subscriber, you would know that literally we've been predicting Nick Foles to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars for literally about 2 months now. The real question is, when looking at Foles, is how much money is he going to get? And 2018, I think, was an okay year for Foles, but we're not here to talk about Nick Foles and what he did in the regular season. We're going to sit here and we're going to talk about Nick Foles and what he's done in the playoffs and what he's done throughout his career, because Nick Foles has been, I think, an okay quarterback. And sure, the 72.3% completion percentage, the 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions this past year, but he's a Super Bowl MVP. He's right now the top quarterback on the market, and for that reason, he's going to get paid. Now, I had a little bit of fun here with my top 5 teams for Nick Foles, because I've been saying he's going to go to one team and one team only for the last 2 months. So as you can see, the number 1 team here as the favorite, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The number 2 team, the Jaguars. The number 3, the Jags. Top 4, Jacksonville. And then number 5, the Miami Dolphins, because why not? I can't have all 5. If you guys like what you're hearing, hit me up on IG or Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. As I've stated, Nick Foles, it's all expected for him to be a Jag. But are the Jaguars good enough with Nick Foles to make the playoffs in 2019? I want you to type Y for yes or type N for no. Hit me up if you want to be an overachiever. Give me their record. Tell me how many games they're going to win. Let's not forget, 2017, they won 12 games. Now, last year, they struggled a little bit with only 5 wins. Let's head in on now to my next player. It's Tevin Coleman. And I really like what I see in running back Tevin Coleman, and I expect him to get a deal somewhere about $5 million a year, and I expect it to get a $3 to $4 million contract. But here's the other thing. He could get a deal similar to what we saw with Jerick McKinnon with the 49ers. And why do I say that? Because Tevin Coleman, I believe, has the talent to be an every down running back. He's just been overshadowed by Devonta Freeman in that offense. And sure, the Falcons' offense, I think, is high-powered with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and thank goodness, oh man, that Steve Sarkisian is no longer there. However, Tevin Coleman, since he's come out of Indiana, I think has shown that he has the ability to be a 3-down running back, and he's entering his 4th year, a 3rd-round pick, like I said, out of Indiana, and he has the ability to catch the ball, and he's been able to find the end zone at a pretty high rate overall, not just in 2018, but throughout his entire career, and he wants to be an every down running back. And when you're looking at teams for Tevin Coleman, what teams have the ability to make him an every down running back? What teams are going to be able to pay him like a starting running back? Here are my top 5 teams for Tevin Coleman. Now, I've updated this because I put out where Tevin Coleman's going to play in the past. So this is my updated list. It's the New York Jets at number 1. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at 2. The Oakland Raiders at 3. The Baltimore Ravens at 4. And then the Houston Texans at 5. I think the Jets right now are a little bit worried that they might not be able to get Le'Veon Bell, who you may see coming up here in a little bit, and then they could turn their focus on the New York Jets. And if Tevin Coleman goes to the New York Jets, fantasy owners, I'm telling you right now, go get this guy. Also, go get yourself the best deal on the internet. You guys like to bet on sports? You want to bet on March Madness? You think you're smarter than me? Prove it. Go to BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet, and use our promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. I challenge you to find a better deal out there. You put down $100, you'll get $120 for free. And again, if you think you're smarter than me, get at me on Instagram and Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. I'll bet with you at chatsports.com/bet. You guys ready to head in on out to my next player? I know I am. It's a wide receiver, and it's Golden Tate. And First off, I love Golden Tate. I think he's a great receiver, and I think probably the only guy who doesn't like Golden Tate may be Russell Wilson. But reports are that Tate wants to play for the Patriots, and I think him going to the Patriots is a perfect fit. Now, he averaged 93 catches, over 1,000 yards over his last 5 years, and he wants to play for a playoff contender. I think there's no doubt about that. Now, he has won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, but we can all agree that the Patriots, I think there's a reason why he wants to go there. It's because he wants to win a Super Bowl. Now, last year, I think we can also agree that he had 74 catches, 795 yards, and 4 touchdowns, but it was a bit of a down year simply because I don't think he was a great fit in the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And when he was traded from the Detroit Lions, he was right on tap to have another 1,000-yard receiving year. And I think, I'm not trying to say Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. That's definitely not what I'm saying. However, I just think Golden Tate fit better in that offense. So don't look at what he did in 2018. Golden Tate is a talented receiver, a talented slot receiver, and I think a skilled veteran who can go on a lot of teams looking to win right now and be a solid option for a lot of quarterbacks. And I mean, when you look what he did in terms of yards after the catch, 2016, 2017, he was one of the best receivers in the league at yards after the catch, which is a very valuable asset, especially for, let's say, a young quarterback or a quarterback who's looking to pick up those extra first downs. Golden Tate, I'm telling you right now, you may not have the biggest name because of a little bit of a down year, but we're going to look back a year from now and be like, wow, whoever got Golden Tate was a great, great pickup. Now, here are my top 5 teams for Golden Tate. The report with him going to the Patriots, it just makes too much sense to me, really. I mean, I would love to see Golden Tate linking up with Tom Brady. I think he would be able to fit right away into that offense. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. They missed out on Antonio Brown. Maybe now they're saving up to go out and get Golden Tate. I also expect Pierre Garçon to kind of be on the way out. Indianapolis Colts, they just have more money than everybody else. And, well, you got to build around T.Y. Hilton. No offense to Dontrell Inman. No offense to, I can't even think of another, Chester Rogers. They're not Golden Tate. The New York Jets, they want to build around Sam Darnold. Good way to do that is get a safety blanket like Tate. And then the Oakland Raiders. At this point, the Raiders are in everything and anything as far as I'm concerned. And I want to give a quick question here to all of our loyal watchers. And if you want to get on the show, a very easy way to do it is to interact with me, especially when we do our show. So first off, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. And the comment that I want you guys to drop in here, okay? I want you to describe Tom Downey in 1 sentence. And if you follow me on Twitter, I already gave my 1 sentence. But I want everybody to describe Tom Downey in 1 sentence. And the best answers I'm going to put up on screen. And like I said, I'll start it off. So I tweeted this out last night. I believe Tom is a married dad with no kids. Tell me I'm wrong. And if anybody knows Tom, I think it's spot on. Again, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. And make sure you guys, 1 word or 1 sentence, describe Tom Downey. Let's get in now to my last player here. NFL superstars likely to switch teams this offseason. It's Le'Veon Bell. And I think it's pretty interesting because the Raiders now are considered a legitimate threat to land Bell. And the Jets, the Ravens, Texans are also reported interested. But, I mean, just a week ago, shout out to Fetty Wap, about a week ago, the Jets were apparently the undoubted favorite to get Le'Veon Bell. And it's amazing how quick things are changing, but that's why I absolutely love NFL free agency. And when you look at his production, yeah, I get it. 2018, I had as many rushing yards as Le'Veon Bell, but in 2017, the 406 touches, 336 touches in 2016, and then in 2014, again, a very, very solid year for Le'Veon Bell, and you could legitimately make the argument that he's the best running back in the NFL. Now, I'll still put my money on Zeke or Todd Gurley. Well, maybe not Todd Gurley because apparently he's got cramp issues now or something like that. But if he wants to be paid as the highest running back in the NFL, like this is the kind of money he's looking at. Does he deserve Todd Gurley money after sitting out after all of 2018? I'm not quite sure. Heck, there's reports that he wants $50 million guaranteed. The Raiders just gave Antonio Brown $50 million guaranteed. Maybe AB's looking at his old teammate being like, hey man, you see what I got? You want to come over? But also apparently the Raiders are a sleeper team for Le'Veon Bell. And if you think that the Raiders are a sleeper team, first off, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Raiders Report, because you're clearly sleeping if you think that the Raiders are just now all of a sudden a sleeper team, and it's why they are my number 1 team for Le'Veon Bell in 2019. I still think the Raiders can make some moves, maybe getting rid of Seth Roberts, maybe cutting Donald Penn, heck, maybe cutting Keith Smith, some other players, A.J. McCarron, could free up a little bit of room to maybe go out and get Le'Veon Bell. But if they don't, I think the Jets are able to throw a lot of money at him and then ultimately sweep him off his feet. The Ravens have been reported, the Eagles, the Texans. But again, I'm going to put my money down on the Oakland Raiders. However, this show, not about me. It's about all y'all, and I want to know, where do you think Le'Veon Bell is going to play in 2019? Remember, if you want to put your money where your mouth is, go to chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code LIVE120 for 120% deposit bonus. If you don't like my top 5 teams for Le'Veon Bell, get at me on Instagram and Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. The defensive side of the football and free agency is, I think, where a lot of attention should go because it's absolutely stacked. Now, here are a few things to know, again, about 2019 free agency. It starts March 13th, Wednesday, $188.2 million per team in terms of cap space, and teams can start talking to players with expiring contracts today, Monday, March 11th. Y'all ready to get into these defensive players? Because it's sweet. Speaking of sweet, the Honey Badgers, where I'm going to kick this one off, and even though I think the Texans are trying to re-sign Tyrann Mathieu, that does not necessarily mean they're going to be successful in doing so. Why? The dude wants to get paid, and he deserves to get paid. I mean, he took a pay cut last year, I think trying to show teams like, hey, I want to win, I want to invest in myself, and I'm going to show you that I deserve to be paid because I'm one of the best safeties in the NFL. And 89 tackles last year, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. The one thing that I will always admire about the Honey Badger is the passion that he brings, and sure, he definitely has some injury scares throughout his career, but again, it's football. If you're worried about injuries, you're watching the wrong sport as far as I'm concerned. And since he's come out of LSU in 2013, he's been a dynamic football player that coaches can literally put him in multiple schemes and is just an offensive coordinator's worst enemy. I mean, really, what is this guy going to do? You never know. He's a gamer, a gameplay machine, and he's going to every game, he makes one big play, it almost seems like. I will say this, the Ravens are an interesting team that's starting to slide up my board because they just cut Eric Weddle. However, that being said, here are my top 5 teams for the Honey Badger. I have the Ravens at 1. I think the Ravens, with them getting rid of Eric Weddle, are a serious contender for Tyrann Mathieu because he wants to get paid. The Chiefs, you're going to see the Chiefs on here a few times because I'm going to talk about a few other safeties. The San Francisco 49ers, another team. They have some money. They want to build. The Packers, as long as they have Aaron Rodgers, I don't care if they won 5 games last year, you're in win now mode. And then the Saints. The Saints are a little bit tougher in terms of money, but maybe, just maybe, because I don't think Matthews is going to take a pay cut. Maybe he takes a pay cut, goes back to New Orleans. You know, he played football at LSU. If you don't like my top teams, get at me at Mitchell Renz 365. Now, let's go in now to a defensive end, and I guess April showers bring May flowers, something like that. Well, he's been a steady 7-sack player since 2016, and he brings a lot of ability. And I really like Trey Flowers, and maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to get paid like his teammate did today, Trent Brown. But here's the thing with Trey Flowers. I'm starting to get a little bit of mixed emotions on him. I think he's a very talented player, but 57 tackles last year. He hit the quarterback 20 times, 8 sacks, and it's going to be more of what is this guy going to get paid. I think if he tries to get overpaid, maybe if he tries to get too close to a DeMarcus Lawrence, I think he's going to get burned. For me, Trey Flowers should be looking somewhere in that $17 million per year because in the NFL, when you can get about 7 sacks a year and you can also defend the run, it's very good. I think a lot of teams, though, are always a little bit scared of signing Patriots players. And I think it's just simply because a lot of times we see Patriots players go elsewhere and it doesn't necessarily work out. Now, I say that, and I think one of the reasons why the Detroit Lions are my number 1 team for Trey Flowers is because Matt Patricia, the former defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, now over with Detroit. That's why they're the number 1 team. The Raiders, they need desperate help there, trying to find a player who can actually get some sacks because they were dead last in the NFL last year with 13. Patriots at 3, the Titans at 4, the Cleveland Browns at 5. This show, again, not about me. I want to know from everybody watching. So if you're watching this video on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, I don't know, Reddit, wherever you can watch videos in today's world, I want to know, where is Trey Flowers going to play in 2019? Make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Maybe, just maybe, my top answers, I'll put you on next week's show. I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, BetDSI, for hooking us up here with the best promo code on the internet. It's Live120, 120% deposit bonus, and I challenge you to make and find a better deal out there, because you're not gonna. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Let me know what bets you're putting down. Hit me up on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365 if you think you're smarter than me and you want to actually bet against me. Let's do it. Next player I want to talk about is out of this world. It's ET. Money is this dude's top focus, and I think for a lot of players, it kind of should be. And when I see Earl Thomas all offseason, he's like, I want to get paid, because he was afraid he was going to get injured. Well, broke his leg, flipped off the Seahawks, and I can guarantee you he's not going back to Seattle. And I think it's funny at times when we look at where players live, and right now he currently lives in Austin, Texas, and there's rumors that, that means he's going to play for the Texans, or that means he's going to play for the Cowboys, and sure, I think the Cowboys are a definite team that he wants to play for. Let's not forget that he literally went up to Jason Garrett after a game, put his arm around the head coach of the Cowboys and said, come get me. Now, he played football at Texas, and he lives in Texas. He's a Texas guy. That does not mean he's going to play in the state of Texas just because that's where you grow up. Earl Thomas wants to get paid, and he wants to play for a contending team that can win right away. So where are my top 5 teams for Earl Thomas? Well, guess what? Here you go. My number 1 team is the San Francisco 49ers. I think maybe Richard Sherman's going to be able to be like, hey, Earl, come on over. Come join the 49ers. Now that Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy, we have a legitimate shot to be a great contender. The Kansas City Chiefs, they were right there. They lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots, not because of the offense, because of the defense. They're clearing room for Justin Houston. They don't know what they're going to do with Ford. Maybe they go out and spend big on Earl Thomas. The Cowboys, I think, for me personally, would be an absolute great fit for Earl Thomas. And Cowboys Nation, there's only one nation. Cowboys fans would go absolutely insane if Earl Thomas went there. If you guys don't know about our Cowboys channel, it's the number 1 Cowboys channel on YouTube. Make sure you guys go there, check it out. It's youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Check it out. My dude Tom Downey does a pretty good job over there. A number 4 team, a sleeper team, an actual sleeper team, the Los Angeles Chargers, and then number 5, the Houston Texans. The top free agent on defense, in my opinion, is Landon Collins. And I think when you look at Landon Collins, first off, New York Giants, I hope you're watching this video. Y'all are dumb. Y'all are dumb for letting him hit free agency, because you could have at least gotten a 3rd-round pick. But no. You let him hit free agency, and I don't even understand the thought process of letting one of the best defensive players in the NFL, who is young and is about to hit his prime, to hit free agency. Makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. 96 tackles last year, 4 pass breakups, a forced fumble, in 12 games. Sure, he ended the season hurt, but I don't care. From what I've seen from this kid since he's come out of Alabama in 2015, a 2nd-round pick, he's been one of the best defenders in the entire NFL. Like, you need him to hit somebody, dude hits you. And if you want him to track down the ball, get an interception, he can do it. In 2016 and 2017, he had 7 interceptions, and at the end of the day, if you're an NFL coach, you need a great defender to build your team around. You need a leader in the locker room to build your team around. Landon Collins is that guy, and he is an absolutely stud. And I think at times I laugh when NFL teams underappreciate great players like a Landon Collins. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. And at the end of the day, again, we're going to go back and we're going to look at and be like, the Giants are going to be like, man, I really, really think we should have signed Landon Collins. Now, the free agent market is absolutely stacked in the NFL this offseason. And when I look at the top 3 guys, heck, 4 of the players that I talked about today, 3 of them are safeties. So who's the best free agent safety? Is it the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, type TM? Is it Earl Thomas, type ET? Is it Landon Collins, type LC? You kind of know where I'm going to go with this answer. I'm going to type my LC. I love Landon Collins, but again, this show is not about me. Do you like the Honey Badger? Type TM. Do you like Earl Thomas? Type ET. Do you like Landon Collins? Type LC. Let me know. Everybody, if you're subscribed on YouTube, again, it's youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. Now, here are the free agents likely to switch teams on defense that I talked about. The Honey Badger at safety, Trey Flowers, defensive end, Earl Thomas from the Seahawks, and then Landon Collins. Again, I want to give a special shout out to today's sponsor, BetDSI, for hooking us up here with the best promo code on the internet. It's chatsports.com/bet. And again, if you don't know what that Live120 is, it's our promo code. You put down $50, you're going to get $60 for free. Put down $100, get $120 for free. Are you good at math? Put down $500, get $600 for free. If you think that you're smarter than me, if you think that you're smarter than Tom at What Going Downey, challenge us on Twitter, on Instagram. Put your money where your mouth is. I'm looking at you, all of you. Chatsports.com/bet.